Hey, what's up, gamers? We are back with another MvM video. Today we'll be ranking gadgets once again. The last time I did a tier list was about 3 or 4 months ago, and that's when I first started MvM. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, some of my rankings were pretty trash. I'm gonna be real. Looking back on it now. However, 3 to 4 months have passed, and there's a lot of things that have changed up. And another thing that's changed up is today's type of video. We actually have a special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm the final Jedi 478. We're just going to call me Jedi for today.
Yep, that's straight
And
up.
I'm here to help Ritz with his opinions, because clearly last time he needed some help.
Yep, that's gonna be that type of video. So yeah, Jedi has been playing MvM for a long, long time, since the alpha days, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, I've
Yeah,
been playing MVM since 2021.
2021. Holy crap! Yeah, that's crazy. That's like almost prime time COVID,
It's
basically. That's insane.
yeah, it's been a little over 5 years.
Jesus. Yeah. So there's two things I base my tier list on. It's the performance in the game or the meta, whatever you want to call it, and it's how they rank against one another. Would you agree with this type of ranking, or how would you look at it?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good baseline to go with,
Okay.
because obviously you want to consider how it performs in game, but you also have to consider their weight against one another in terms of usefulness. Because if one gadget is definitively more useful than another, it should rank lower.
Okay, so this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna put everything in their respective tier lists, and then after we're gonna do the left to right rankings. So on the left, it's gonna be stronger than what's on the right. If you get what I mean, do you know what I mean? In the
Okay,
comparing.
so we're gonna go through first with just the S through D, and then we'll go through left to right and say this is stronger, this is weaker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how we're gonna do it.
Okay,
All right,
I'm
so
down with
well,
that.
we have everything in alphabetical order, so might as well start at the top. We have the Aegis. Personally, this is a little bit of a hot take of mine. It's going right here. All right. What do you think? What do you
Ooh.
think? What do you think?
Okay, so I'm of the opinion that it actually should go in A tier because it's a very strong backline tool. It doesn't get used a lot by the backline players though. But I think it has a lot of potential to be a really strong backline tool because we have a player on who uses the Aegis, who's a frontliner, but he he's a frontliner, so he doesn't get the full opportunity to run back to the beacon all the time.
True.
But at Mark III, it prevents beacon busters from detonating.
That is true. See, my one drawback, well, actually, I have a couple. First of all, it's usage. I'm gonna be real. Not a lot of people use it. It's not a very well used gadget, so that brings it down for me. And then second of all, I don't think people use it all the time correctly, or they're just like miss their timings, whatever. It kind of has like a little bit of a skill gap because obviously those busters are gonna fly right in if they're like those ones that fly the Stormfront Legion. I've seen a good few times where they don't use it correctly, and so that kind of just brings it down. I think it's just more of a higher skill use gadget, and most of the player base is more
Yes.
casual, so that's why I put it at the top. I'm gonna have it at the top of B tier. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
it's my personal opinion there. I don't know. I definitely could see it being in the great tier with
Right.
A, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, even at Mark II, though, it blocks projectiles altogether if you put it down
yeah. But how
in
long does
that
it
area.
last for? Is it like less than 30 seconds?
Um, I'd have to check the exact timings, but it is a decent amount of time.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I don't know. I just don't like the usage and how people actually use it in game. Definitely has potential to be A tier, but right now I just kind of see it at the top of B tier, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just at the top average, in my opinion. I don't know. All right, you want
Okay.
to move on to the next one? I mean, we're
Yeah,
cool with
let's move
that.
on to the
We're cool
next
with
one.
that. So we got the lay. Yeah, honestly, I think it goes somewhere in A tier. I'm be real. I think it goes there. It's a great gadget. Obviously you get that heal. It's pretty decent. It did get nerfed a little bit, and then you can also put two of them, so you can have one on yourself, one on a summon or another player. That's definitely makes its usage very very high. Yeah, you don't have to eat as much. You get that baseline heal. I think it goes in the great, the A tier. What do you think?
I think it's high A. I could see potential for S
Okay.
because the utility on it is very high. You can put it on you can put it on a player, you can put it on a summonable mob. It's very strong. And in the changes they made, I think a couple months ago now, they made it so that allays don't die.
Mhm. I
So
did forget to mention
that
that.
makes them, yes, that makes them way better than they used to be. So I think purely for that, that pushes them for me in my head. That's why I'm like kind of eking towards S tier. But I'm okay with A. I think A makes sense
Yeah, I used to have the
since it's more of
like
a supplementary tool.
pretty dang low. I used to have it pretty dang low.
Yeah,
But yeah, I agree with that. I think it's somewhere here or here. It's pretty high up. All right, let's just do the next one. Ballista. I did have it in S tier at one point. I'm gonna drop it down to A tier. I'm be real. Um, I think
I agree with
it's
that.
yeah, I think it's very very valuable. I think it's the best out of all the crossbows and bows in the game. However, it does eat for your arrows, so you have to be very committed to it. So that's one of the drawbacks. And second of all, yeah, you gotta get kind of be smart when using this thing. Yeah, it's a really good midline tool though. I like it a lot. There's nothing really inherently wrong with it. It's just it takes a lot of the arrows. So that's also a lot of credits. So imagine you're like in a supply shortage. It's not gonna be that useful. Because you're gonna have to spend all your credits on arrows. So
I think you pretty much said what I was going to say. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
yeah, I mean it's great. It's nothing wrong with it, but yeah, it's just the arrow eating. I can't really put it in S tier. All right. Well, next up, we got the Blitz boots, and actually, I kind of rate these pretty highly. I'll actually put them in A tier. Definitely below these two, but I actually think it's an A tier item. I'll tell you why. First of all, they added feather falling to it, so you don't take any damage at Mark 3, I believe, when you fall really far. So I think that was a pretty useful buff. Second of all, I can actually see this being used in builds like, obviously backline. It's gonna be really good. I can even see it being used in midline and frontline. Having speed 3 all the time in Mark 3, just pretty insane. Obviously, you won't get knockback resistance with the obsidian boots later on. We'll talk about, but I think it's a pretty good item. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they open up a lot of versatility. Saves you potions on speed pots. Um,
True.
and you can fly. I've seen backline players use these very effectively.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can't you technically use this with like the bulwark and the iron veil and still have like speed? Like, is that
Yes,
possible?
you can.
Yeah, that's kind of insane though, if you think about it. I feel like a hybrid build like that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of categorized the armors in kind of two different sets of armor, but and that's why I would say hybrid builds.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's a lot of combination potential that hasn't really been touched too much yet with these. But I'll definitely say A tier for Blitz boots. I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. All right, well, next up, not really gonna be any hot takes here.
S tier.
Bulwark. What do you think about it? I mean,
S
it's
tier.
kind of
Yeah.
broken, right? Like,
It's Mark 3 gives you a full extra set of hearts. It's ridiculous. It gives you the most armor in the game right now.
yeah,
It's by far
exactly.
the strongest. It's
It's
the strongest piece of
16.
armor in the
It's
game.
16
It's
armor. It's 16.
Yeah,
That's the
it's a
value.
must-have.
Ex-
It's literally everybody. There is not a single person except Duck
Duck
Lord
Lord.
who
Yep. Yeah, we
he's
don't
the
know. We
only
don't
one who
know.
uses the other options.
Yep.
The other option. Let's be real. Bulwark. That is of all of the gadgets. That might be the S tier gadget. That might be the single best one.
Yeah, it's definitely top three, 100%. 100% top three, easily. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, there's nothing go wrong with it. It's literally there's no drawbacks with this armor besides it giving you slowness, but let's be real, there's a million ways to counter slowness. It's insane.
Yeah. All I have to do is press Control W in space, and my issue is solved.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
that's not a problem.
yeah, this thing is absolutely insane. What would I do to nerf it? I mean, you could bring the words down. You could take away some of its something, but let's be real, we aren't in Valiant yet, so it's kind of hard to tell how that would play out. Because
Yeah.
technically, the Mark III
I
is
will
for
say
Valiant.
there are plans for gadgets. The idea eventually is to have a Mark III gadget not be as good as Valiant armor when that gets released. However, it'll have different, gimmicks, and that's why you'd use gadget armors for the gimmicks.
Right, right, yeah, but yeah, definitely S tier.
In the
Next up,
current meta, we'll throw an S tier. Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah, next up we have the Cinder Shots. It's kind of hard where I want to put this. I mean, obviously it's between two categories. Let's be real. Uh, Uh, maybe at the bottom of S. I used to have it at the top of
Yes.
A. I actually think it gets a slight buff to S. Mainly because the way we're seeing how The fearless, like, higher difficulties or structure now, there's gonna be way more mobs, stronger mobs. The only thing that really counters this thing is Obsidian, Legion, and like flying mobs. That's really it, and like glitchy like staircases that they'll like move the shot away, the projectile. But other than that, this thing is super effective. Most of the time, you're gonna be getting hordes upon hordes, all grouped up mobs. It's gonna do so much damage because it has an area effect. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty insane.
Yeah. Cinder Shot is one of my Mark III, like one of my Mark III items
Mm-hmm.
that I keep with me in my base kit. I love the Cinder Shot, especially at Mark III with the additional projectile. It's very powerful.
Yeah, definitely gets the job done.
And even
Nice.
sorry, even in the the situations with where it doesn't kill all of the mobs, it softens up plenty and opens up that for you to go in and finish them off very easily.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's very good. And also, I think it pushes back mobs, right? Like it
It
pushes them
does
back.
has
Yeah,
knockback effect on them.
yeah. So that's even more useful, especially if you get them lined up. So yeah, it's super good. Definitely, I would say lower S tier, but being low S tier is not a bad thing at all. Let's be real.
No, not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. All right, next up we have the Diamond Cutter. It did recently get a buff, I believe. I think it got. I forgot how much damage it got added to it. But I think it's around 300, right? It's around 300 damage, something like that. 250 maybe,
I
something like
I'd have to
that.
check the announcement for that.
But yeah, the usage, it's kind of low. I'll be real. I only know like two players that maybe use this besides like Ruby and someone else. But I would have to put it in the B tier. Being the B tier isn't a bad thing, but the problem is there's a lot more gadgets that are actually I'm gonna put it below this. There's a lot more gadgets that are better than the Diamond Cutter. So I think in terms of how it compares to the other gadgets that we have currently in the game, it just doesn't perform well as those, in my opinion. However, it is pretty decent at bringing mini bosses down pretty low. Like you can one shot them, or if you're going against an actual boss like a Titan or a Demolisher or whatever. Yeah, it does actually do a significant chunk of damage. More surprising than you would think. So, do you have any thoughts on the Diamond Cutter?
I think it's very powerful. It does a lot of damage. It's very, very good for single target damage. Yes, the cooldown I just confirmed with like searching. The cooldown right now is at 30 seconds at Mark III, and it
That's
does 300 damage.
300. Okay, so I was right about that. 30
Yeah.
seconds, 300. That's
So
actually not bad. That's actually not bad.
it's I could see it at top of well, it's under Aegis for sure.
Under Aegis? Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
agree.
definitely B. I think B makes sense. I was gonna try to push back and make it maybe push a little higher, but no, no, no. It makes sense where it is right now for sure.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I agree. It's a pretty solid option. Nothing really wrong with it. So, I like it. Alright, next up, we have the Elytra. If you know LMD, it's obviously his favorite item in the game, probably. Can't really say that for sure, but, um, it's probably gonna go somewhere in the upper A tier, if I had to say. Maybe somewhere around here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know this actually going into my first ever ranking, but I didn't know it gives you absorption arts whenever you fly or whatever. It gives you fireworks every few seconds or second or so often. I mean, you're never gonna run out of fireworks at Mark III. Insanely good from ability. If you know spear attack, which not a lot of players do, but you also have that option to swoop in on people. Um, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Um, I do think that. Well, I was about to say it has a little less utility. I think at MvM specifically, it has a little less utility than Blitz boots. However, they do have potential for more versatility.
Yeah,
They're
because I
just not
mean,
used by
maps like
everybody.
what's that circle map called? I haven't played in a while.
Reactor.
Yeah, Reactor. I mean, technically it'd be pretty good on that map, right?
That would
Like,
be fantastic in
yeah,
Reactor.
especially on the platform. Imagine you're running like snow golems and you can go up to those little platform things in the sky. Like, it can be pretty niche on some maps. Like, I feel it'd be
Yeah,
really good. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a great option. Definitely competing with these, but I'd say the lay's higher than
yeah,
these, but definitely competing. We'll look at that later.
yeah.
Next up. Ooh, damn. Okay. Uh, well,
I'll let you rank it, but then I have some thoughts on this
yeah,
one.
yeah. I want you to talk first on this one. So originally, actually, I think I forgot my first tier list I had. I think I had it down here with Volatile Cuirass. Actually, and considering the buffs I got recently, I'll actually put it at the bottom, very, very bottom. Well, I wouldn't say very bottom. I have a couple of other things I want to say later on. Definitely at the bottom of B tier though. Um, I
Mm.
want to hear your thoughts on it because you've actually used it firsthand. So I want you to let me
I
know
have.
how it is.
So I've only used it at Mark II, but I noticed that especially because I used it during this like the snow top thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to be fair, I we only really got to test it. The snow top event has since ended, but with the little alcove in the back, you can put your ghast in there, and it won't be targeted by aerial mobs. And he's basically an automated turret that drops ghast fireballs.
Okay.
And at Mark III, it's faster.
It's faster. Do we know the area of effect on these fireballs?
It's just a vanilla like, fireball.
Okay, so it's probably like 3 or 4 blocks at most. Interesting. Do we
Yeah,
know the
it
damage at all
does.
either?
So on hard mode, a ghast's fireball does 12 hearts.
12. So it technically could two-shot like a zombie, right?
Yeah. Now it has pretty nice knockback though. I will say.
Okay, so would you still give it a B though? Like what do you think? Like is it too vulnerable?
Now
Like I don't know.
I think bottom of B is a little harsh
Okay.
because I think it has a lot of utility because it lets you fly and you can
True.
leave it as a turret. The only problem with it is that aerial mobs can target it. So you have to be smart with your placage, like you're placing it.
Right.
It may not be ideal in some maps where there's no cover for it. But it's not. I don't think it's a bottom of B. I could see probably mid or high B though
Oh,
for it for sure.
actually, that's a fair evaluation of it. I actually there's actually like tech too, like with the snow golems, right? You can put them on top of it if it's stationary.
If
Like,
you're standing on it, you can have a snow golem with you.
oh, you
Yeah,
have to be standing on it or not?
yeah. You have to be standing on it just because
True.
the game doesn't register it with any other entity. But like the Elytra, it does give you the option to put snow golems in unconventional places.
True. Yeah, actually, you know what? I actually like that. I think it could be higher than this. I think so. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I do agree. The utility has always been nice. I remember my first video, I did tell them to like switch this to an offensive gadget, and I'm actually glad they did because the way it was before, it was kind of underwhelming. I'm sure you could probably pull off some plays with it, but yeah, it was a little underwhelming seeing it back then. But now, yeah, it's definitely in a better place. I actually kind of like where it's at. I don't know if it could use any buffs. I haven't used it on Mark III yet, but I eventually will. But for the most part, it seems to be trending in the right direction. So that's very good. I like the devs, what they've done with this. I'm very happy. All right. Well, next up, we have the Harvester. This is probably one of the most underused gadgets in the game.
I agree.
I'm gonna be real. However, hmm, where would I put this thing? Now, the last time I saw someone use this thing was maybe Ghost or Spinny. Because back in the day, when I first started MvM, Spinny and I would be testing a lot of stuff because well, I was new at least. Spinny's been playing for a bit, but he did use the Harvester with like a lifesteal build, and actually, it produced some solid results. So I'll put it at the bottom of A tier. I could see
I
this
agree with that.
being pretty good in a build, especially a lifesteal build that's like tanky. And it could be very effective if used correctly, because there's a lot of
I think
times where you're gonna get hit by the volatiles. They'll bring you down to half HP if you're in full armor with resistance 3. They'll bring you down to half HP. This thing could heal you right back without using health potions. Like, right? Wouldn't that be
yeah,
pretty good? So I don't know.
I think that's exactly the big benefit of it is you don't have to spend the tickets on heal potions if you have that.
Right.
The downside obviously is that it takes up a slot.
That
But
is
that's the
true.
downside of every gadget is that's the weight of it. It's like, do you want that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you make enough tickets to get health potions. So that's why I definitely say it's an A tier gadget for sure. I agree with that. But I don't think it's S tier just because, you get plenty of tickets if you're frontlining to use health potions.
True. True. Yeah.
However, it does do more damage than a health potion.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. I have really no complaints about it, honestly. I gotta use this thing more, actually. I want to have some fun with it. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Well, next up we have the hazard helmet, and it's more of a contention with what's going on here. I don't really know. We'll look at this later, but obviously it's gonna be at the top of S tier. Uh, yeah. I mean, hazard helmet. I've been telling them nerf this thing for a while. The one nerf I've always recommended was put the slowness into the Mark III. Remove slowness at Mark III. Yeah, obviously the hazard helmet removes every single debuff in the game. the way I use it, I've found a pretty broken method. It's pretty insane. I would say it's the better of the two helmets, but we can talk about that in the next two. What are your thoughts on the Hazard helmet?
Obviously, it goes in D tier. No, I'm messing with you. um, yeah, I think it's an S tier item. Just the ability to to not have to deal with any negative status effects is broken. It's very strong.
Yeah, yeah, it's super good. Yeah, that's the only nerf I'd recommend this bonus thing. But other than that, I mean, you can't really nerf the thing. I'm gonna be real. It's just how it is. It's pretty good. All right, next up, we got the Iron Golem. I'll put it up the bottom of A tier. What are your thoughts? Because obviously everyone
Yeah.
knows I'm very infamous for being the summons guy that always talks about the summons. I want to hear your thoughts on the Iron Golem first. I want to know what you think.
So obviously, summons aren't meant to replace a player.
Yeah.
Players, have a lot. They have 7 slots for gadgets,
Hmm.
or weapons or whatever. They have 7 slots. They're by definition not going to match up with a player, but they can definitely supplement a player, especially a support player on a beacon or in a high traffic area, like coming from portals. I
Right.
think they're extremely useful for that. So iron golems especially are great for beacon defense. They're very strong. Like you'll never not benefit from having an iron golem.
Yeah, I agree.
So
And
I definitely say they're an A tier gadget.
yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with it being at least the bottom of A tier. I'd say it has a few drawbacks. Like sometimes the AI can be a little bit weird and they stray too far away from the beacon, which kind of sucks. So I think maybe the devs can make it so where it's faster to where it has the no, it's going back to the beacon because I've seen it stray away like really far before. And sure, you could pull it back manually, but it just depends on the playstyle. If it's a backline, it won't be a problem. If you're like frontline using this, it's gonna be very hard to make sure it stays in check. And then I have a little something called Ritz Law. Basically means the summons get worse the more mobs they are, the more people you have. So whenever you're running with like less people, it's actually probably gets higher ranking. But considering most people run multiplayer, it's gonna stay at the bottom of A tier, for me personally at least. But yeah, I think it's a pretty solid gadget. I like where it is. I don't think it needs a buff. I don't think it needs really a nerf. Yeah, it's great. It's a great gadget. Next up, we have the Iron Veil, and I'm ready to defend my conversation for the rest of my life. It's gonna go below the Hazard Helm and the Bulwark, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the Iron Veil is by no means a terrible gadget. It's a very, very, very good gadget. However, I have this method called Resistance 3 cycling. And with their Asnom, all you gotta do is literally just buy Resistance 3. If you're a frontliner, it's extremely easy. You're gonna afford it all the time if you're decent at the game. All you gotta do is cycle Resistance 3, make sure you have it up at all times. For running Serum, you're gonna have it. You can run the banner of the Resistance 3 to get your Strength, so Strength will always be covered. There will only be about a 40-second gap where you don't have Strength. But even then, you can buy your own potion, that will be covered as well. Um, the Iron Veil, obviously, you're not going to have any of the debuff protection, so you're going to get flung up in the air, poison, whatever. That can go for your food supply. You're going to have to be eating more, stuff like that, etc. Well, what do you think about it? Because I know you are an Iron Veil user. So, what are your thoughts?
I am an iron veil user, and I think it's great because it saves me the money. Because sure, it's from my understanding, it only goes to Mark II. I don't know if they changed that, or sorry, up to Resistance
Resistance
2
2?
with the Mark III,
Okay.
but it's still permanent Resistance 2 for no tickets used is great, especially because I can save that money for Strength 3 pots, and I can save that money for health potions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like it. However, I definitely see there's a conversation to be had about what you prefer with your helmet, and there's no denying that both helmets are very strong in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree. It's definitely. Well, I'm personally, I don't think it's a debate because I'm pretty supportive of the Hazard Realm. Obviously, I still have yet to try the Iron Veil, but to get a full opinion on that, but I don't know. So I feel about it. I definitely want to hear from the other Iron Veil users because it's pretty 50-50 on these two, if I'm being real. But
Yeah, it's I think it's by far the most 50-50 opinion in the game is between these two helmets.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's very interesting. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts if anyone's watching this video. Next up, we have the Leaping Leggings. Of course, everyone knows Ruby loves this item. However, in my opinion, it's going down here in the middle. I'd say middle of V tier is kind of fair. Uh, yeah. What are your thoughts on the Leaping Leggings? I
I
want
agree.
to hear. Is this fair?
If it's utilized with other gadgets, it's good, but on its own, it just gives you jump boost. Like, it's okay. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I believe it does actually give you swift sneak as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. Yeah, I mean,
It's yeah.
I can think of a few niche ideas, like you can get in different spots, like with, snow, like putting like snow golems down or something, like summons, but then again, this exists, this exists. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
like,
nothing that you can't do with another gadget that has more utility. So
yeah,
while it combos with other gadgets pretty nicely, I think it has a lot less utility than an allay. And then, that's why allay goes way up, even though it's a combo tool as well.
true.
Whereas the leaping leggings, I would say probably mid or low B.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, also could be good at avoiding mobs too, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just kind of a low tier item. Next up, we have the Obsidian boots, and they did kind of tweak these, like, nerfed in quotations, making the Mark II and Mark One. I guess you're taking more knockback now, but I mean, who really cares? It's going somewhere up here. I'd say maybe in the middle of S tier. Yeah, you take no knockback. It's pretty simple. Uh, if
Yeah, they give a lot of armor. They're very
yeah.
strong, and at Mark III, there's no knockback.
Yeah,
You're
like,
just moving forward.
I mean, it's like the hackers you would face on like factions or something. If they have no knockback, I mean, you're not gonna be able to combo them because they can just combo you. So you're basically just an
Yeah.
immovable object. I mean, it's pretty broken. Yeah, just not be able to take knockback. Definitely clears the blitz boots, but yeah, maybe we'll see the blitz boots get closer in the conversation with this. But for right now, this definitely clears in terms of boots. Oh shit. Okay. Next one up, we have the recall anchor, and oh god. Everyone's gonna hate me for this.
Oh boy, here we go.
I,
What are you gonna say now? Whoa, 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 whoa.
yeah, yep,
Okay,
yep.
okay, okay.
They can all hate
Now
me for
I
this.
want to
They
hear
can
your
all hate
opinion
me.
on this.
They can all hate me
I
for
want to
this
hear your
shit.
opinion on this.
Oh my
I
god.
just want to know what you're
I
thinking.
I can
Let's
all
let's
hate.
talk this through.
Oh, I've been a day one hater of this item. I'm gonna tell you why. All right, so there's a First of all, I'll tell. Actually, I'll say what I need to buff about it, and then I'm gonna explain why. So I think at Mark II, you should be able to get Region 1. At Mark III, you should be able to get Region 2. Um, at Mark II, you should be able to get Speed 1. And at Mark III, you should be able to get Speed 2 for, let's say, maybe 10 seconds or so. And the reason why is because whenever you get respawn back, you should be able to get back into either the front line or the mid line, wherever you died from. So you should have some speed to get back into there. Um, and actually, I wouldn't do regen at Mark 3 because I think you get full health actually. For like one of those, I believe. So I would put those maybe back to like Mark 1 or Mark 2. So you can like regen some of your health back. Because I'm pretty sure you don't get full health back right away when you get respawned on the Mark 1 and 2. But yeah, I think it should get some sort of buff like that. Now it is pretty nice, like being able to respawn back when you're low on HP. But I've seen frontliners use this, and honestly, I don't really see the hype because if you're getting that low on HP, you're probably already dead. Because most of the time, you're gonna get taken out by like a creeper or something. So I just don't know. I could see it being more used for like a backliner or a midliner, but I mean, I
It's
don't know.
it has utility. Now, I'm not gonna go off spouting that it's an S tier, right? Because I
Okay.
think that's a little absurd.
So you think it's
But
A
it
tier?
has utility. Well, maybe not. I want to talk through this because I think C might be low
Okay.
because it does have uses, especially like looking at it for newer players. We see a lot of the time, especially with high death count players, it's very helpful for them.
True.
I've seen it reduce their death counts pretty significantly,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's great because that saves you the 15 seconds you're spending waiting to come back into battle.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, because that's the big thing is it's either you respawn and you take a couple of seconds to buy a health potion, health yourself on Mark II, it respawns you with full health at Mark III, but it takes a couple of seconds, to buy a health potion at Mark 1 or Mark II, hit yourself, go back into battle. Saves you, that's a lot less time than waiting in your pod.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
that already gives it a lot of utility.
Okay.
I do agree with you that if you go over the damage threshold, it'll just outright kill you. But that's up to the player for more of a skill gap at that point, I think. So
Yeah.
I could definitely push it up to B
Yeah,
just for that.
I could see the argument with that considering like most of the player base is casual. And then the fact that survivability for me honestly is probably the highest tier attribute to have as a player. Like if you already have survivability, you're just gonna be able to outright be effective on the battlefield. Um, so I can actually see a pretty good case for it being B tier. Right now I think it's a very high C tier. I just think they need to buff it a little bit with like maybe speed or that regen, like I was talking about, and then I think it would be B tier. That's the only drawback for me. Other than that, I can definitely see the case for being B tier. So yeah,
Okay. Well, maybe it'll bump up later depending on
yeah.
what else gets thrown in.
True. Yeah, we'll see. Next up we have the war banner, the War of Sigil, as I like to say, or how do I say it? Sigil? What is it actually called? Like
Yeah.
sigil? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's a
Sigil.
sigil. It's the sigil. Yeah,
Yeah, I always call it the War Sigil of War, whatever the fuck it is.
it's the sigil
Um.
of fury.
Oh, I did not know that. It's gonna go somewhere in A tier. Let's see where. Um.
High
Yeah, it's gonna be
high
high.
A tier for sure.
It's gonna be one of these between these two. Uh. I guess I use it a lot, so I'll talk about it. Yeah, Strength 4 at Mark 3 is pretty fucking insane. It lasts for around 20 something seconds. It's like a low 20 seconds or something, but still
Think
pretty insane.
from what I'm seeing here in Gadget catalog, it's saying 10 seconds.
Okay, it's not 10. It is not 10. There's no, that's cap.
I think they
It's
probably
20
buffed it a
something.
bit since that.
Yeah, it's 20 something. I know that for sure cuz I remember talking about it with Undead back in the day about how to cycle strength. And yeah, it's more than 20. It's like a 23 or something. It's a weird number, but it's below 30. It's in between 20 and 30. Yeah, Shrink 4, Speed 3. It's like a 10 block radius, something around there, of people going inside of it, to get the
Yeah.
effects. And it works for every single one of your teammates. Insanely clutch item, really good. Thank God it doesn't give resistance. If it gave resistance, it'd be too broken. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good, really good. What are your thoughts?
It's very powerful. Yeah, I agree. I think especially for like boss baking, this is a top tier item for boss baking.
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
if you need it in a pinch, like your beacon's really getting hammered, you can throw down a sigil on your beacon and go to work.
True. That's
So
very true.
it's very powerful for area denial of the mobs.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, next up, we have the shield. I do have this Mark III. I've used it a decent amount. Maybe in the middle of A tier somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, you've used this more than me, so what do you think about the shield? What do you think?
So when I'm playing, because I generally try to run more midline,
Mhm.
um, but when I'm playing, the shield functionality of it primarily comes out for creepers, especially volatile creepers, because they eat health. They're monsters,
True. Yeah, definitely.
but they also give you regen while you're crouching, so you can crouch and hit things, and you'll still have regen.
Yeah,
So it's a self heal.
and it gives resistance to your teammates, right? Like,
It does.
yeah.
Yeah.
If they're in like a, I forgot the radius. It might be 10 blocks again or something, but
Let me see.
yeah,
It's within 10 blocks of you if you have it at Mark 3. It grants resistance to you and all your allies.
yeah, that is pretty good. That is really good.
Now, regen to while crouching, that's really good, and that happens at Mark 2.
Yeah, that's insane. That is definitely good.
Yeah. So I definitely could argue mid or high A for
Oh
that.
yeah, and it's really good paired with the OA. I've used this as a combo. You just sit there and you get all your HP back like really really fast. So technically, I could see a build where it's this, this, and this, and you get insane amounts of
That's
regen.
a lot of heals.
I
That
really
that's
want
a
to
really
try this.
strong
Yeah,
heal
I
build.
want to try a
I
no
think
health pot build with this. No health pots at all. I want to try it.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would actually, and then your backliners wouldn't have to focus you super hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
could
And you
you,
could
you
buy
could
like
rely
shrink
on
you could
those
buy like
very.
shrink threes or like something like 24/7. Like you would be literally
You could
unstoppable. Like that's crazy. Yeah, I gotta try that. But that yeah, shield can be has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential. That's what I'm gonna say. Uh all right, well
actually, actually,
what?
I do have a thought here.
Okay.
I think it might be wise to bump the Iron Veil down in S tier
Really?
because, and it might be wise to bump the shield up because the shield grants resistance too while you're crouching to you and everybody in your radius.
True.
But the helmet only grants resistance to yourself. Now you don't have to be crouching; it's always, but You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's a
we
thought
could
that's
talk
just
about
occurred
yeah,
to
we could
me.
talk about that later. That actually be a really good conversation. It's what we're gonna yeah, that could be a really good conversation. We'll talk about that then when we re-rank,
Yeah.
make sure everything's good. Next up, oh god, this is the most controversial one. Alright, so first video I ever made, gadget tier list. This was the best gadget in the game, in my opinion, hands down. It had 40 block range in the air and the ground. Um, if you knew how to place these things correctly, they would never die. There was literally a meta I invented where you could AFK Daring 3 with these things. Daring 3. You could AFK. You didn't have to look at your fucking screen. All you had to do was place these down. And that was it. You had to place 3 down, your Iron Golem and your Wolves. And then you go AFK. You can go. I was doing homework while doing Daring 3. However, this thing received a huge nerf. And it got so bad, I almost was going to put it in D tier. I'm not even joking. I was so mad. I was actually furious. Definitely was rage baiting devs in tickets. I'll be honest about that. So I apologize to all the devs. I do not hate your game. I was just a little mad. The thing I was most mad about was that no one believed me how bugged this thing was. There was a lot of problems. First of all, snow golems weren't shooting aerial mobs for some reason. It was bugged sometimes. It was really weird. Second of all, I thought there were way too many counters to the snow golem. So like for instance, all those are like a things, those vexes or whatever. Uh,
Jinxes.
I thought they were spawning way too much, and I'm glad they nerfed that because I thought that was bad. And I thought like the creepers being a counter to the summons as well was also kind of a bad thing, but I don't think it's as big of a deal now. And I thought this thing was in a really bad place. However, credit to the devs, they did fix a lot of these problems, including the bugs that came along with it. And instead of it being in one of these shit tiers, I had it originally at the top of B tier. However, after seeing what it can do, I'm actually putting it at the low end of A. Um,
I agree with that.
maybe
I think
somewhere,
it's
maybe above here, somewhere here.
yeah, it's one of those gadgets where the more people that bring it, the stronger it is. Just
Yeah.
because of you can throw like for example on Snowtop, we had them along those logs behind the beacon.
Mm-hmm.
We had like 4 of them back there, right? And they were shredding aerial mobs.
That's what I'm
It was
saying, man.
ridiculous.
Yeah, the fact that it's a full aerial counter now with basically infinite range in the air, and it can still shoot mobs on the ground, 15 block range, pretty decent
Yeah,
actually. Yeah, it's
so
actually
they're great supplementary tools. They're fantastic supplementary
yeah, it's
tools.
actually pretty solid. Like honestly, like yeah, it's pretty good place. I'm actually very happy, and honestly, it's been continuing the trend upwards for me. As far as aerial mobs go. And considering, well, the leaks I've heard that there's probably going to be some aerial bosses or more aerial mobs or something, they could get even more value. We'll see. Yeah, Snow Golem's in a really good place. I'm actually very happy for how it is now because it used to be so broken, and then it used to be so shit, and now it's actually in a pretty good balance. I like it a lot. Yeah, what the devs have done with summons recently, they basically have fixed almost every summon. I'm very happy with how the devs have fixed the summons. I basically have no complaints about summons except for one, which I'll get into later. Um, all right, next up we have Spike Greaves, and it's somewhere up here. I don't know. Put it in the middle of
Yeah.
S tier.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're just S tier. I mean, they're
yeah.
thorns. They're just they're existing thorns leggings with really high defense.
I know. Wait, what is the damage
They're
on the
strong.
thorns? What is the damage? Like 4,
Let me
2, 3? It's
see.
like somewhere around there, right?
Okay, it deals 3 damage to
3.
attackers,
Okay.
but here's the thing: with each mark, it actually increases what it does to them as well. So
Ooh.
at Mark 1, it's slowness 1 to the wearer, which whatever.
Right.
Mark 2 inflicts weakness
Weakness.
1 on
Yes.
mobs, and then Mark 3 does weakness 2 and slowness 1 on mobs when they hit you.
And you get that thorns damage. Wow, that's crazy. It's actually
So
yeah, it's
they
pretty good.
basically they basically only get, you know, first blood damage on you, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're weaker and they still take the 3 damage from you, which isn't a lot, but it's noticeable. It does
100%.
it does a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a pretty reliable item. I'm gonna say that. I believe it gives around 14 armor protection, somewhere around there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's extremely good, reliable. I mean, it's pretty much the definition of being reliable. It's just gonna get the job done. It gives the mobs weakness. You can frontline with this thing, midline. I mean, you could technically even use it in the backline. There's not really a problem with using it in any sort of formation. Yeah, it's just really good. Nothing wrong with it. I don't know how they would nerf it. It's pretty much good where it is. Yeah. Next up, what is this thing called? uh,
Hold on, that one is sometimes I get them mixed up. That one is the piercer.
okay, the piercer. Okay, so it goes through mobs. Uh, I don't know. See, I used to have this whole conversation. I would argue with Amp and VC about how every crossbow was technically better than the snow golem. However, yeah. Uh, I think it's getting a buff, right? Eventually, the piercer.
I honestly, I don't remember.
I know one of the crossbows may have gotten a buff already, or it's getting a buff, or all of them. I'm pretty sure all of them are getting a buff besides the ballista. Uh, yeah. I mean, it's good. I've seen Spinny use it. And actually, I mean, he's used both crossbows at Mark III, I think. And actually, they're
Hmm.
pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, they're actually pretty good. But yeah, I'll talk about later why these are kind of better. But yeah, it's pretty good. You
Okay,
just pierce through the mobs. I mean, what do you think about the piercer crossbow? I think it's
let
the
me.
way.
I haven't seen a lot of use from it. Um, it does 30 damage though.
30? How much arrows does it go
Yeah,
through? Three or one?
the piercer it only uses one arrow.
One. 30
It
damage.
does 30
That's
damage,
kind of crazy.
and it pierces.
Whoa, that's actually good.
Yeah, so I think it's good where it is for sure. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, but I see it more as a ground. But when you say it's a more
It's a
ground
ground. It's
crossbow,
a
so
ground
yeah,
mob tool.
yeah,
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 don't use that
100%.
against aerials. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's definitely useful. If it does get a buff, I'd be interesting to see where it goes. But I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't think it really needs a buff. But next, I do know this one
no,
is the
neither do I.
splinter. It is the splinter, right? The three shot.
Yep.
Okay. I think it also just kind of stays somewhere here, somewhere
I
in
think they.
contention. I don't know. It's in contention in my opinion. It could be a little bit
Yeah,
better. It could be a little bit worse. Maybe even. Uh, it's a three
they're
shot.
about. I think they're about the same in ranking because they offer different utility, but they're still both strong. Let me take a look at it real quick
Yeah, how
and
much?
Gadget
I
and
wonder how
log.
much damage it does. I think that's the most important aspect of how it's gonna be ranked here.
Yeah. So each, yeah, at Mark 3, it shoots 7 arrows, and each arrow does 15 damage.
7,
7.
15.
Yeah.
Okay, what's 7 times
It
15?
actually might
Oh
be a bit
shit.
better. It actually might be a bit better than the
Yeah.
Piercer.
What's 7 times 15?
But
Oh god, I
well,
can't.
it won't do 30 damage if you hit the same mob with 2 arrows because of the invincibility when they get hit. But
True.
that's 15 damage on 7 mobs at the same time if you manage to hit all your shots.
It's like 120 something, right? Or maybe a little bit less.
15 times 7
I don't
is
know. It's like one. It has a 2 in it, I think.
it's 105.
105. Okay, okay. I was definitely off. Um, yeah, 105 damage potential could be pretty good. I see it getting
Yeah,
a little bit better, and I think one of these are getting buff or both. So, yeah, it'd be pretty crazy. Sorry, burping.
you're good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where they are. Bottom of 8 here. I think that's fine for now.
Yeah,
Uh, next up, I guess another one of Ruby's favorites here. We have the Spring Mine. I think it's the
bring
first gadget she's
mine.
ever Mark 3'd, which personally I think that was a bit of a foolish decision, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, considering that, it's like in the middle of B tier for me, I think. It's somewhere there. Like, you can stack them infinitely, right? It's like 20 seconds, you could stack them infinitely.
I don't think it's infinitely, but you can put a lot.
Yeah, so what do you think about them? Like, I think it's just in the middle of B
So
tier.
they do good damage, and they give slowness 7 at Mark 3 for
What?
7 seconds.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, but what's the area of effect on these things?
Um, not as big as TNT, obviously, but it's a little blast. If a mob gets hit by it, they're not moving for a few seconds.
Huh. Okay, considering that, I could see being better than
I
this.
it's yeah.
I don't
It
know.
definitely has more utility than Happy Ghast, but
Really? You
does it
think
have more
so?
utility than the Aegis?
I don't know. This is a toss up for me because I like slowness seven's crazy, and that 7 or whatever the fuck slowness is for like 7
Yeah.
seconds or whatever. Damage. I'm not really considering the damage too much in this because I don't think it's like that much, right? It's not a crazy amount of damage.
It's a blast. It does blast damage.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a mid to high B considering that now. 'Cause I didn't know it did slowness actually. I completely forgot. Yeah, I
It's
don't.
helpful for backliners though, to be fair. Same
Yeah,
with Aegis.
I don't know. I can't see
Yeah.
it being any higher. It would be interesting if multiple people are running it though, because I'm pretty sure I've only seen 2 people run this. Like seriously. Maybe if like
Yeah.
two or three, maybe if all the backliners are just running this thing, maybe it'd be pretty broken, like in terms of a group. I don't know, but definitely is an item with a lot of potential. It's just kind of unknown because it's not utilized that much. It's a low usage item, so yeah, nothing really much to say about that. I mean, would you agree? It's kind of fine there.
Yeah, I'm okay with it there.
Okay,
We'll
we
have
can talk about
discussions
it
at the
later.
end for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Next up.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, best gadget in the game. I'm not even gonna say in my opinion. I just think that's subjective.
It is
Yeah,
by far.
this thing is
It gives you
fucking
every positive. It gives you,
broken.
every positive status effect that you can get from the store
Yeah,
at the same time
yeah. I
at
mean,
level 3
this thing is
for a minute,
insane.
I think.
I can tank 3 or 4 annihilator shots with this thing at full absorption, along with just everything it gives, including full armor. Yeah. If you die with this thing, you either are extremely unlucky or very, very bad at the game because
Yeah.
this thing
It's You
costs.
shouldn't be dying at all if you have super serum up. It's
Yeah.
it's insane.
I maybe only
It's
died once, and that was when I
so
just took
strong.
like a million annihilator shots at one time after like a custom morph run back in the day when Amp would spawn in like 6 of these annihilators. That's the only
Yeah.
time I've died with the serum. Yeah, it
That's
is.
annihilators. They do ridiculous damage. So that's perfectly understandable. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think by far this is
best gadget in the
easily
game.
number 1.
Yeah, 100%. We know it's getting nerfed soon though. That's for sure. We definitely know. It's hot. It's gonna take a nerf. I know that. I If I was gonna nerf this thing, it's going down to like 45 seconds maybe. For duration, where you have it. I
Okay.
could see that, or you can make it of a longer cooldown. I could see both of those being good options. But
I
60
like
seconds of being able to
I like
not
the
die is
cooldown
pretty
where it is.
good.
Yeah, I don't know cuz I use it a lot.
Hmm.
Um I don't really see Here's the thing. I think that gadgets should be brought more up to match rather than being brought down to match. I like it when games
Okay.
do that more.
Okay,
But
that's fair.
yeah, I definitely think that it's super strong. Easily the best in the game.
Yeah, 100%. I'm curious how they're gonna go about, uh, I guess fixing it in quotations, but maybe they'll leave it the same. I don't know, but they did tell me that I was getting nerfed, so I don't know. We'll see. They have yet to act on that.
Yeah.
Next up, this one's a little controversial with its best friend. It's very hard. Obviously I use both because I play tank, but it's somewhere contending with the center shot. I just don't know.
Yeah. It's a question of damage versus range on the center shot in the TNT because with range, you get your range shots in with the center shot, then you can move in for the kill and clean things up, but the TNT
Right.
outright does more damage.
Yeah, I know. And it has a pretty good area of effect too.
It does.
Good
TNT has a big
point.
blast.
Yeah. I
So
don't
does center
know.
shot though.
Yeah, it's really just a battle of like what position do you play?
It's the battle of range versus
Yeah, if I'm
damage. That's just the way it is.
yeah, if I'm the
Whichever one
go in
you
tank,
value more.
yeah, if I'm the go in tank, I use the TNT and I just put it down, boom. If I'm a mid liner or back liner, you get easily get away with using this. Um yeah, I don't know. This one is like we talk about 50/50s of like, this and this, but this is
Yeah,
also
that's
like
another one.
extreme, like this might be even a tighter 50/50 or like I don't know what's better. I'm gonna be real. A couple people say TNT. Uh I don't know. I don't know.
I
That's
think
up for debate.
whenever you look at the end screen, you definitely see higher damage numbers from TNT, but I think the utility of the cinder shot is really what puts it in that level. So I could see cinder shot or TNT going in the same, like they could be one on top of the other. They're that neck and neck for me.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. All right, well, we finally made it to the the volatile grass.
Oh
Oh
boy.
boy. Yeah, oh boy. Here we go.
Let's
All
well,
right.
let's just bite the bullet on this one.
Yep.
It's pretty low.
Get the segment on this, guys. Get your popcorn because this one's gonna get very
Yeah.
detailed. Yeah. Sorry, Duck Lord. It's going down here. Now we're gonna get into very much detail here, so we're gonna be moving to this.
Oh
All
boy.
right. So we bring out the graphs for this one. All right. All right.
Oh
Look, the
dear
volatile
lord.
caress. I'm gonna tell the audience here why this thing is terrible, and I'm gonna tell them why. Like, I'm gonna go into full detail here. So let's start it off. Yeah, volatile caress is terrible for a couple of reasons. First of all, I value survivability as the highest tier attribute in the game. If you can survive, then that means you can support your team by healing them, by killing, by doing damage, supporting them in any positive way. If you're alive, you will not be waiting 15 seconds along with the extra seconds you have to get into the battlefield. If you're alive, you're winning. The volatile cuirass is the antithesis of this. It is to die and do damage very fast. The way it's currently made is terrible. Because, alright, sure, you get some of that Thorns damage, which I thought it was an okay add on, but I don't think it's that good because you don't get that much armor, so you're going to die very quick. You get a lightning strike, so it's purposely wanting you to die so you can get that lightning strike off and do damage. So I'm going to do a graph here, and I'm going to show what it's like to be a volatile cuirass user. So just imagine you guys are Duck Lord, alright? So we have a XY coordinate graph. Everyone's seen this. So we're going to have our X represent time. So we're going to represent with a T. If you take calculus, this is usually what the T's look like because you don't want it to look like plus signs. Very weird. Fun fact there. And then we're going to have our Y-axis to represent combat effectiveness. Combat effectiveness. That's what we're going to have. So we're going to represent CE here. Our combat effectiveness. So, all right, let's get the graph going. So this is what it's like to be a volatile cuirass player. So right here, you're spawning, you're not fighting. Okay, boom, you're fighting. Okay, then you flatline here. You're still alive fighting, and then boom, you get this little spike because you just got your lightning off, and then boom, you're dead. Okay, you're waiting. You're waiting to spawn in. Oh look, you're fighting again. Blah blah. Oh look, you're fucking dead. And your lightning strike, boom, dead. All right, so this is what it's like to be a volatile cuirass player in 2026 of MvM. In the month of, was it July now? Yeah. So, as we could see, as time passes, you do a little bit of combat effectiveness here, so that means you're doing damage, supporting your team, whatever. Your lightning strike goes off, so you get a little bit boost here, because you're doing that area effect, right? Right, Jedi? So you get that little
Yeah,
area effect. Boom, you're dead, so you have no combat
it
effectiveness
does.
during this
Yeah, it
amount
does
of
a
time.
75 damage hit from the lightning.
Yeah, and then boom, you just do it again, blah blah blah. So it's very limited amount of time where you're alive and you're doing stuff because you're just gonna be dying quickly. Now this is what I think it should ideally be for a volatile cuirass player. So I'm gonna explain before I draw this graph out. So in my opinion, since volatile cuirass is an anti-survivability gadget, I think you should be able to do absurd amount of damage in a short period of time, die, come back, or do the same thing, and continue. So I'm gonna show this with a graph. So instead, I believe it should ideally be like this. So it should be like this, blah, blah, blah. You're not doing anything. Boom. Huge spike. Blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit shaky. And then you get your lining off. Boom. And then wait a period of time. Blah, blah. Boom, 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 boom. Blah, blah, blah. And then you're dead. And then etc. So I think in these small periods of time when you're alive, you should be able to do a shit ton of damage. So you're basically like a glass cannon. You go out there, do a crap ton of damage, and you're dead. And the ways you could do this is maybe have it like when you get to a certain amount of HP, maybe you get like buffs, for instance, like you get low on HP. Maybe you get like a resistance 10 for, a certain amount of time, or you get strength 3 or strength 4 or speed or whatever. You get like a certain buff, and then you can do even more and more damage. And then the lightning strike pops off, you get that extra bit of damage out, and then you're dead. You wait a long time or whatever. Maybe it has like a cooldown with that ability too on your armor, something like that. And then blah blah blah.
I could definitely see an idea. I think actually would be really cool for it because I think right now actually it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be better. It's definitely not the better of the chest plates. It's a low tier gadget for sure.
Yeah.
But especially if you consider like a Thorns build with Volatile Curious, that could be very useful because you'll
Yeah.
do a lot of damage to things that hit you.
True.
It's
Maybe
just a
get
matter
it,
of
but
survivability.
I would have to see it as like a shit ton of damage though, like a ton of thorns damage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Well,
see it like that.
yeah, but here's the thing: if you have the Spike Greaves, if you have Volatile Curious, and you have I don't know, like Obsidian boots, and I don't know, like a Thorns 3 Mythic helmet, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna fry anything that hits you.
I mean, will you? Like, it has to be put in the test, right? Like, it has to be tested. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we obviously that would require some testing, but from my understanding, it would absolutely fry anything that hits you.
Okay.
That would be ridiculously strong.
Yeah. If
Now,
so, then that'd be nice if it matches something up like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
but once again, that puts it in as a combo tool
Mm-hmm.
with other stuff, so that's why it's lower. Now, I think something that'd be really cool for it is the Curus has been designed at this point to try to to balance damage numbers, but it does give you the bonus of if you don't do it properly, you still at least get the big boom to kind of compensate for the time you're off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, it is basically like it's an area of effect Thorns build, which has potential for sure. It definitely has potential. I don't think
Yeah,
we've seen
it's
it fully executed though, in
yeah.
terms of the player base using it.
Yeah, I definitely want to
Now,
see that fully explored.
for the gadget itself, if I were to do something for it, the only thought that I would have for a buff, and you know, this is just off the top of my head. I'm not saying this has any support or anything, but if I were to buff it, I would make it so that the Curious maybe gives a bit of damage resistance the lower you are.
Hmm. Yeah, it does tie into
Like,
my
so
buff
there's
given a low HP. That does sound interesting.
so there's actually it makes me think of this. There's if you've ever played Battlefront 2 from 2018,
I've watched gameplay. I've not played it though.
there's one of the heroes in the game is General Grievous,
Hmm.
and he has a star card, which is like a loadout option, right? And that star card, basically, the lower Grievous is, the more damage resistance he has. So it effectively acts as a health boost without actually being a health boost. It just gives him damage resistance.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I wonder.
So you kind of,
Huh.
but that kind of plays around with, hey, this guy's kind of always at lower health, but he has a bit of a resistance at that point. So I think that'd be a really interesting tool to see used in the game. Um, you just have to play with it carefully.
Right. Yeah.
But that's if I were to do that, that's how I would do it. So it gives that chest plate um, a bit more survivability because that is by far its biggest weakness.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. Definitely very vulnerable. And then, of course, at this last part here, I had the average player. It looks obviously something like this, where you kind of have, average, blah, blah, you die. It's a little bit higher than the volatile thing. But this and this should even out over time. This should be ideally close to what an average player running, like, let's say, a tank build or something, like, of that matter. These should be even. So this and this should be equal. And this one's a little bit weaker than these two. Uh, yeah, it's kind of just how I explain it. Yeah, I do agree with giving it a certain type of buff. Could be interesting whenever the lower you are, or something like that. Just something to make this a little bit stronger. I just think it's a bit underwhelming, especially when you compare it to the other gadgets. Yeah. Next up, we have the horse, and this used to actually be probably the worst gadget in the game. Wouldn't you agree? This used to be the worst.
Yeah,
Like one of
you
the
could do
worst.
you could do tech with it where you could save people. Like if they were on the horse, you could pull it back if they were
Hmm.
using your horse, which I'm pretty sure you can still do. But that was really its only utility. It was fun, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, but it used to be pretty bad. I rated it the lowest on my tier list when I first started, but now it's in a great place. Now, it did get a significant nerf. Originally, I had it at the top of A tier, the very top. However, it did get a nerf to where its cooldown was now doubled in time. And I believe it's even longer, or it's not, I don't think it's as long as Iron Golem. I'm not too positive on that, but it's somewhere around there in that terms of the range of the cooldown timer. So it's a while. However, the horse, I mean, it's pretty damn good. I'm gonna be real. It's pretty damn
Yeah.
good. Now there's a few drawbacks I'll have to say. You can't you can use this in war fronts and missions where there's gonna be a ton of mobs. However, you're definitely gonna need an allay on it. Like no matter what, so you're forced to bring allay, which isn't a problem. Like allay is obviously very, very good. But yeah, I mean, it does get shredded when there's like a crap ton of mobs. If we go back to Ritz Law, the less mobs there are, the better it's gonna be. So if you're running like solo, or duo, or trio, or you're not running like a high priority mission that's gonna get you like a ton of mobs or modifiers or hazards or whatever it might be, or havoc, I guess that's a thing now. Um, it could be pretty good, but whenever you're in those like huge, high tier, very difficult missions, it's not. It's kind of underwhelming to be honest. What do you think?
Well, obviously it buffs the player whenever they're riding the horse, and it's
Right.
fast.
Yeah.
As long as you can keep the horse alive, you've got a pretty solid tool right there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think it's pretty good where it is right now. I don't really have too many notes on it. I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, I mean that's strength 3 and the I think the horse gets resistance 3, right? Is that true?
I'd have to look into it. I'm not sure right now.
Okay, but yeah, the buffs it gives pretty dang good. It's very very fast. If you're a new person watching this, which if you've made it this far in the video, I don't know why you're still here. I'm gonna be real. Uh, Yeah, horse is pretty dang freaking fast. Like it's like a horse but on speed 3. It's pretty crazy. Yeah,
They're gonna come back to this
that's pretty
video
cool.
and if like, when MVM pops off, they're gonna be like, all right, let's watch this tier list from 5 years ago and see what MVM was like back then. So they're gonna get to this part of the video and they're like, what the fuck, Ritz? Why you why why are you telling me to go away?
I mean, it would be shocking if someone got this far, especially if the Gen Z attention span. I'll be real.
Tendency attention
Yeah,
span. Yeah, we've got this is gonna come out as a series of like 200 shorts. It's just gonna yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it's gonna devolve into.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, is people will binge the shorts. Is like, oh yeah, let's just keep binging, and that's how you get them.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Yeah, next video, it's gonna be an AI talking over my videos in short form, bro, like 30 seconds maximum.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, but I'd be very shocked. Anyways, we have your favorite man, the web snare.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, I'm not gonna troll you at all. It's gotta go up here.
Yes, it does.
It's somewhere in the. I would say it's like a top 6 gadget. Um,
Yeah.
it's definitely in the middle of S tier. Definitely higher end of S tier if people know how to use it correctly. Yeah. You can take it away on this one. Just tell me all about it,
So
man.
okay, let me let me give a little bit of a history lesson. So way back in the day, MVM, was a completely different game. A
Mhm.
lot of the custom items didn't exist because we couldn't make them because it was hosted on Xbox. WebSnare was a prototype tool, is what it was called at the time,
Mhm.
where each player could bring one prototype tool, and that was their usage. My first prototype tool I ever got was WebSnare, and I managed to revolutionize the usage of WebSnare in game because it was fantastic for slow. And then when we created new MVM, WebSnare didn't get translated over for a long time because other gadgets took priority. The devs were like, oh, this seems interesting, this seems interesting, this seems interesting. But then we finally got WebSnare. And oh boy, let me tell you, it's better than it ever was. It's
Absolutely.
so strong. It's
Yeah.
so strong. Because it lasts for 7 seconds at Mark III. They're dead. They're dead in the water if they're in it. They're not
Yeah, they
moving.
can't move. Yeah, they just can't move at all.
Yeah, it's a 5x5 radius where they can't move. You can drop TNT or a cinder shot in it and blow them to hell. They're gone.
Dude, like
It's
us, yeah.
ridiculous.
Especially on maps where there's like
And
choke points too. Like, isn't it crazy?
yeah,
Yeah.
the delay, the slow value is so strong because it prevents them, it saves you that time. Because you can throw a web snare at a group of mobs and you'll block most of them from coming and you can focus on the other air, like, what's behind you for the moment and then turn back and face them when the web snare's off cool, when the web snare goes away. It's so strong.
Yeah.
I,
100%.
I think I'd argue top 5. It's extremely powerful.
Yeah, I would say it's probably the best. Support, not including the support actual mods, but the support gadget, like a supporting gadget for the team. I think it's the best.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't know if you would count Serum as support, but definitely,
Serum's kind of self-support.
yeah, more
Um,
of that.
yeah,
But
it does. Obviously, Serum helps the team whenever you're using it, but Web Snare I think has a greater team benefit than the Serum.
yeah, 100% is good. Anyways, we've made it to the final gadget, the Wolf Pack. Now, when I originally did my first ever gadget tier list, which I keep saying this now, but yeah, when I was a newbie, I ranked this in the A tier. Actually, I ranked it at the bottom of A tier. However, that is now at the bottom of B tier.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
just
uh,
one main problem with this thing. Just one. That's it. I'm gonna explain why I've think it's kind of here. So the damage is good. The health is good. The AI is a little bit dumb. I'll be real. With the dogs, I think it's a little bit stupid. The main problem is that literally they just don't stay in a pack. That's all. And everyone brings up this argument with me where whenever I talk about supports, and they're always like, why can't you just press the button to recall them back? Why can't you just press the button to recall them back, Rich? Well, the problem is, that's not how the wolves work, okay? You can do that, and they'll be grouped up, but right after that, they are going their separate ways, alright? Like, they are not that good whenever they're separated from their pack. It's literally called the wolf pack, and they don't play as a pack, and when they get on their one-on-ones, most of the time, I literally see them getting destroyed. I've deadass seen my wolves at Mark II lose a fight to a fodder mob one-on-one. I am not even joking. It was a spear fodder mob, and it got 1v1 and died. I people don't believe me on that, but it is true. That's the only problem. If the wolves were always together as a pack, they would easily be the middle of B tier at the least. Uh, just my opinion.
I
What do you
agree.
think, Jedi? What do you think?
Yeah, they're just. If you could bring an iron golem or a snow golem, why would you bring the wolf pack at all? That's absurd.
Yeah, I think it's the weakest out of every of the support mobs, but if it just gets that buff, I genuinely think it'd be high B tier, mid B tier, somewhere around there. It would still be the
Yeah.
weakest of all support mobs, but it would be in a pretty good place. Maybe even a
Now
touch of gas.
there is something within the last like week or so. Nobody's played with it yet, but there is a new gadget.
New gadget.
Yes, the Pearl Cannon.
Wait, it's in the game?
It's in the game right now. Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Okay, let's just imaginary put the pearl cannon.
Imaginary.
Let's
Yep.
just take
So
well as Silver
do
would
you?
say, let's take a gander, as Silver would say. Um where we might want to put this. Uh
So
what does it do?
do you know?
You know what it
So
does.
the
What
Pearl
does it do?
Cannon. Yes. So the Pearl Cannon, what it does is it's basically a gun that fires a little pillar, and it places one pillar on you and one at the end of your projectile. And when you click the pillar, it teleports you between them.
What?
Yep.
So you put two little pillars down, right? And then you can teleport
Yeah.
between them? Does it stay there after you teleport?
The pillar has a lifespan of 30 seconds.
Okay.
They're invincible and they can't be targeted by hostiles. And each Mark variant reduces the cooldown on it. So at Mark 1, it's 5 minutes, but at Mark 3, it's 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes, you get 30 seconds where you can teleport between spots.
Huh. Wait, that's interesting.
And anyone on your team can click the pillar and teleport to the other one.
What?
Yes.
Obviously, it's late
They
as
are.
hell, but like, there's probably a lot of meta that can be done with that.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the
One that instantly
potential.
comes to mind. One that instantly comes to mind is for when you're having beacon trouble. You can fire a pillar from your beacon to your frontliners, and your frontliners can click the pillar and come back to help you
Holy
instantly.
crap. I can see that at the least, like, being a fringe A tier and a high B tier. What do you think? Like, so I think it has a lot
I
of
would put it
potential.
solidly. I would put it solidly in A tier.
Okay, okay.
Just now, keep in mind nobody's played with it yet.
Yeah.
It's like this is new territory, but I think it's solidly A tier because it has the one of the highest versatilities for player movement. Because for 30 seconds, you and your teammates can freely go between those 2 points on the map with no delay.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about it. Yeah, I could definitely see it being fringe A tier. I would say fringe A tier, so it'd be somewhere at the bottom, but maybe above these. I don't know. Yeah, the utility alone, just the potential that could be done with that, especially if your team's very competent. Yeah, it could be pretty good. I could see that. Yeah, I'd love to see that thing in action. I can't wait. Next tier list, well, it's gonna be on there. So,
Yep.
all right, now we get the fun part. We're gonna go left or right. Left's gonna be better, compared to what it's
Yeah.
gonna be on the right. So we'll start with the bottom tier, C tier. Well, I know you kind of disagree with this one. But you would definitely say this is better than the Volatile Caress, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Let's just make this clear. Volatile Curious right now. Well, okay. Here's my hot take.
Okay.
I think actually Wolfpack's probably the worst gadget in the game.
Oh, okay. I agree. This is my bottom three. I definitely could see this being the worst. 100%.
Yeah, I think Wolfpack's the worst gadget in the game. Volatile Curious at least gives you armor points. Like
True.
the Wolfpack can be useful. It can be, but it's just not a viable pick with Iron Golem or Snow Golem or Happy Gas even.
Yeah,
They are all
true.
better in terms of utility. So why would I bring the Wolfpack in any case? Now, to be fair, every summonable technically gets a bump up in my ranking just because of the summonable slot that got added recently.
Yeah, it's
So it
very
doesn't take up
beneficial.
it doesn't take up one of your slots anymore, like one of your main six.
Mm-hmm.
It's its own little spot. So if you bring two summonables, one's a flex and one's a summonable, which is very strong.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, this little fake pot of gold here, the recall anchor, it's gonna be controversial for this, but let's just look at B
I think if
tier.
I think if Wolfpack goes down, I could see I think respawn anchor you can put at the bottom of B.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually fair with that. I'm fair with that. Okay. I agree. Okay, now
I like leaping leggings. I like leaping leggings where they are
this
for
is
sure.
good. I think yeah, this is definitely this is a little controversial between these two, but yeah, I can see this being better.
Yeah.
Gas better than these? Yeah, I can see that. This is more utility than these. I agree. I think that's fine.
Yep. I think the gas has a lot of utility, so maybe it's a bit low. But I think the gas, you know, it is kind of untested.
True, yeah.
So
Uncharted waters for
yeah,
sure.
it's uncharted waters. So I think for now we can leave it there because Spring Mine is charted waters and it's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's more proven. I mean, low usage, but more proven for sure. It's been around forever.
Yes.
The slowness is very nice. Area effect, some damage, pretty good. And then, of course, the Aegis, which
Yeah.
low
I think
usage.
it's only there because of just because of how it's been used by player base.
Yeah,
If it were
yeah.
used properly, I think it could shoot up pretty high in the
Oh,
tier
yeah,
list.
100%. Like
But
mid A at least. Like, I think
yeah,
it'd be high potential for
I
sure.
think its potential isn't fully tapped yet, so that's why it's there for
Yeah,
us right now.
100% agreed. Next up, we have A. This is the most stacked on the list. It's gonna be
Yeah,
hard.
stacked tier. That's
Yeah.
but that's good. That means the majority of our gadgets are effective, and I
100%.
like that. That's a great thing to see.
So the crossbows, I'm pretty chill with that. Like crossbows here,
Yeah,
pretty good.
crossbows are good there.
This is pretty close, but I think the snow golem will beat it out just a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree with that.
ooh,
Is it a hot take to say the scythe
is it
might be better than the blitz boots?
harvester? I mean, are these better than the snow golem? Do you think? Do you think these are?
Oh,
I like a All right, think about harvester. So you regen health, you do melee damage. It's pretty solid. I think it's like 13 damage a hit or something. Oh, like I
if
think this
with
thing is
strength
testing.
3, it can do 15 damage a hit.
Strength 3, 15 damage.
Yep.
So it can two shot, but it has no thing like the hammer. It doesn't have the hammer AoE.
No,
Uh,
but its benefit is the life steal though. You get health from
yeah,
it.
lifesteal.
So that alone is crazy.
Yeah, but
That's
think
really
about
strong.
this. Would you rather have a mob that wipes out literally every air and does ground
Yeah,
damage, or
no,
would you
yeah,
do
you're right.
this?
Snow Golem's better. Snow Golem is
Yeah,
better.
I have to agree. Do we think Blitzfist
And
is
then
better?
Blitz Boots. I don't
I don't
know
think so.
because
I don't think so, man.
I I don't think so either.
I don't think
I
so.
think Snow Golem is better.
Snow Golem's getting a little promotion here. Okay, I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
And then I think Blitz Boots is slightly better than this. I'm confident in that. I think.
Yes.
I think.
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah.
Ballista. Ooh, I mean, okay. So Ballista can shoot in the air. I'm not sure how much arrow drop off. Did you know? Do you know the arrow drop off on the Ballista?
It's I think it's normal crossbow. Maybe a bit higher gravity on it.
Okay, if it's
Honestly, I
normal
can't like
crossbow.
it's lower. It's
Hmm.
I think it's a bit lower than normal crossbow. Or yeah, I think the drop off happens sooner than normal crossbow. But it's still,
Crossbows are known for
it's a volley
accuracy,
of
though.
arrows.
Yeah, I mean, and it does shoot in the air, right? It does shoot pretty effectively in the air, right?
I think so.
Yeah, if so, it would have to beat the Snow Golem, in my opinion, because it can do ground and
Yes.
air. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am cool with
So
that.
I think Ballista's better than Snow Golem. Plus it's player utility, like, that's you. So it's more accurate by definition.
True. Okay, this is
If
gonna.
it were me, Shield goes above Elytra and Warhorse.
Yeah, when we talked about it earlier, I actually agree on that 100%. No bias whatsoever. Um, and we can explain it. This is gonna be giving your teammates resistance too, and it's
Yep.
gonna be giving you regen, and you're gonna be
Yeah,
blocking hits.
it gives everybody within that radius resistance too. It gives you regen too, and it blocks creeper explosions and
Yeah.
annihilator shots. It blocks the annihilator shots as well.
Yep. And if a lot of the tanks know the tech, all you do is just crouch there, jump up and down, get your crit hits, and just cycle between the block and doing the hammer hits, and you technically keep the regen the whole time. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as you're crouching, you'll keep regen.
Yeah. You don't have to worry. Elytra, you're gonna have less. I mean, basically no armor. I mean, you'll get regen with the absorption and all that, and you'll be able to be very mobile. But technically,
But you lose the armor.
tanks. Yeah, technically tanks are the meta in the game, and frontlining is very important in my opinion. Um, yeah, it's gonna be higher. Horse kind of in competition, but this is gonna be more effective toward your team, while this is more effective
Yeah, but
toward
the
the
shield
player.
doesn't have a cooldown.
Yeah, true that as well. So you don't have the liability of the horse, and it's only single person targeted. Well, it's multiple people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
only downside to the shield is axes,
yeah.
which, to be fair, you see axes a decent amount,
Hmm.
but if you play around it smart, it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Um, yeah, I'm fine with these last two here. I think Alay is significantly better than
Yeah.
everything here. I think so. The banner is very, very
I
good,
think,
but this is
yeah, I think LA borders S tier, if not is S tier,
yeah, like I could see it
because
being in here too.
yeah,
It's very close. I would
but
say a fringe
Sigil,
S. Fringe
yeah,
S.
Sigil's a little lower. I think Sigil's a little lower
Mm-hmm.
than that, but I like these rankings.
Yeah, just the fact
Now
that you can put
let's,
two of these is crazy.
yeah, they're really strong.
Okay. Oh, God.
Next up,
So obviously with the probably the biggest 50-50 in the game, besides the two helmets. I'm gonna say TNT is slightly better. I think a couple other people agree. Like I think Undead might agree. L&D might agree. Um,
I think that's a fair take. I think it's worthwhile to put TNT slightly above
yeah.
Thundershot. Yeah,
I mean, it's
I think that's a fair
so
take.
slight.
It's close. It's
So slight.
incredibly close.
It's like a
But I think for
51-49.
just pure tier list purposes, it should be. I think that's fair. That
Yeah,
makes the most sense to
it's a
me.
51-49 for me there. That is how close it is.
Yeah.
Very crazy. Uh, I'm I'm kind of happy with this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boots, I think the boots are better than the greaves.
yeah. No
I think
knockback is
the
crazy.
snare. Now, okay,
Okay, whoa.
I have to argue for lowering the veil because it gives great armor points. The defense points are fantastic.
Mhm.
But now that I'm thinking about it, the shield gives resistance too when you're crouched. And if you're playing shield effectively, you're going to be crouched a lot.
Yeah, true. But
And
that does mean
resistance
you lose
potions
mobility,
exist.
though. You do lose mobility. So, I mean, sure, you're gonna be
You
less
lose some
mobile
mobility.
when you're losing this. Well, see, this is also less mobile, but you're more mobile with this than this. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, but that's my thought,
So
right?
you think the web
Because
snare is
both
more
give
viable?
resistance too. Yes.
I would say it depends on map because, for instance, like Snowtop, web snare is not gonna be as good because it's very open. Um, also depending on the map,
Still
if they're
effective.
yeah, it's still
Especially if
effective.
you
Yeah.
especially if you play it right, you can hit them right when they spawn, or not right when they spawn, but when they come out of their the resistance zone,
Hmm.
you can hit them there and you'll hit a big clump of them.
Yeah, I think this is very close. I think web snare is slightly more map oriented, just because with the
Slightly.
yeah, I would say slightly. Like obviously, it could still be very effective even on open maps, but especially maps when there's choke points, like for instance Outpost. You get a lot of choke points at that little castle area. If you're on last beacon,
Yeah.
very very OP. Yeah, this is a little more map oriented. This is also very very good. Very close between these two, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
pretty.
another thing with the shield though is the shield benefits everybody in your radius, whereas the helmet only benefits you.
Yeah, true.
The shield's more
That's
team oriented.
100%. Okay, well, we have our top three here. Hazard Helm or Bulwark as the top number
The
two.
bulwark sees more use, so I'd argue the bulwark by definition should be above
You know,
hazard helm.
that's a good take. I agree with that. Very nice. And then obviously it's gonna be number one.
Yeah, cinder shot's number one.
Oh,
It's not cinder shot. Sorry, that's not what it's called. Super serum.
yeah, Super
That's not
Serum.
what it's called at all. My brain doesn't brain. Hooray!
Is it Super Serum?
Man, yeah, super serum.
Is it? That's what you said before.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, okay. I think that's what it is. It's pretty late, so
Yeah,
we made it this far.
yeah. Don't
It's
worry.
crazy.
It's late at night. It's two in the morning for him. It's 3 in the
Dude, you
morning
just
for
woke
me.
up.
I I woke up, got on the recording, and said, "Let's fucking do this." So we're really here with with our friends tonight.
Yep, that's yeah, it's like damn. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
we've made it. We made it to the end. Look at us. Look
we
at us
did it.
go.
We
Wow,
did
that's
it. Oh,
crazy.
actually, where in this? One last thing. Where in this does Pearl Cannon go?
Uh, actually, probably like you could low key sneak it in somewhere in like A here, like in the middle maybe. Like I think it's a fringe A, but considering a lot of potential it has,
Yeah,
could go in here somewhere.
I could I could see it being around there. I think that makes sense. You'll have like the PNG, you know, you
Yeah,
can
we'll
like
just
squish it.
we'll plop it in here
It's
and
like it's
post
just
editing, post
like you
editing.
put
I
the
got you.
PNG, like you have the PNG down here in like where a blank spot, and then you just squish it and shove it between those.
Yeah, editor Ritz, just slot
Yeah,
it right
editor Ritz,
here,
get to work.
and in the
Yeah,
future, it'll be
yeah,
right here, guys. Don't worry. I
yeah,
promise you. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
yeah,
this is our official tier list, guys. If you've somehow made it over an hour into this video this far, I'm very shocked. I'm gonna be real, but you have made it. Congratulations. This is the official, and I mean official tier list of MvM.
yeah.
Obviously,
No contesting this ever. No
yeah,
opinions.
yeah.
This is fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you guys seriously want to contest it, you can talk in the MVM community chat. You can also talk in the comment section. You can say whatever you want. Say I'm stupid or Jedi and I are stupid or whatever. It's
And
yeah.
where can people find these gadgets?
People can find these gadgets in MvM Miner versus Mob in our Discord server called Supernova Network. I will leave a link in the description below so people can join and check this out. If you are a new viewer and you've somehow made it this far, congratulations. You have seen the second ever tier list uh, video on MVM. There's been other tier lists, but no video. But yeah, uh, I think it's a pretty good tier list looking back on it. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think there's probably some room for improvement for gadgets,
Mm-hmm.
depending on, finding newer, better strategies for using them. But I think this is pretty solid. I would say this is pretty all right.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy about this. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Obviously we did this very late at night for myself, so I'm
Yeah, we
surprised
did it
my
late at
brain.
night off the dome.
Yeah, no script by the way, no script
No
whatsoever, just
script,
straight raw
no
into
plan.
this.
We just came in here and said
Yeah, let's go talk
let's
about
get
some
to
stuff.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Alrighty,
great.
it was a pleasure to be on.
Yep. So I will see you guys next time. Probably with another MVM video, and then we're gonna get back to the Ava stuff. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.